Now, what is up, my fellow prod coders? Welcome to this video, and today we'll continue working on our search bar. Now, two things. So first of all, if we go to our /search, I forgot to rename a class to class name in our search result components, and it was here because we copied this from the Bulma documentation. So let's get rid of this because this is kind of an ugly warning we don't want. Okay, and you see, for whatever reason, like font awesome seems to be like super slow right now. I don't know exactly why, but it actually doesn't concern us at the moment. Another thing, so we're entering our term here and we enter some location, and right now we just print it to the console. That's totally fine, but we actually want the user, we actually want to redirect the user. And the search bar itself should be quite primitive, and it shouldn't be concerned with application logic. It should know that it is supposed to redirect the user. Like, it should just say, hey, by the way, someone submitted the form and here are the values. Do with it whatever you want. And the easiest way to get this kind of behavior is by just implementing a callback. So we will go to our search bar. We'll type in search bar here. And right here, we console log our term and our location, and then we prevent the default. Let's just assume that we get a prop called search. Okay, and which we first need to check if this prop was actually passed. And the most intuitive way of doing this would be to first say, oh, if props.search was passed, and if the type of props.search is a function. Because only then we will attempt to execute it, right? Because someone could just pass a number. But if you think about it, the first part here is somehow redundant, because if props.search is just undefined or null, then this check will be false and we will just not do anything. So let's get rid of it, and let's just call our function here. We just say props.search, and we're going to pass two arguments here, like the term and the location. Nice. And right now no one is using this, but we should use it. So let's go to our landing page component and let's actually write the callback that is supposed to be executed when someone searches for a specific term and in a specific location. And now it will be like a good opportunity to use our installed use React router package. And remember, we only installed this because at the time of this recording, React router does not offer a hook yet. So they have it on the roadmap, they will do it, but right now they just don't have it. And that's why we just use this router as a replacement, because this tutorial is about hooks. So what we want to do is, in order to redirect someone, you need to pull this history object from like the router. And all you need to do is you need to call use React router. So use React router will return an object, and this object will contain like history, for example, or path. And at the moment, we're just interested in history. And of course, we also need to import this use React router from use React router. Nice. And it's actually quite straightforward to redirect someone in React. All you need to say is you need to say history.push, and then you can specify the URL to which you want to redirect your user to. Now, two things. So if I search for burgers in Berlin, like, we don't have any issues, right? But let's say I'm not searching for Berlin, I'm searching for San Francisco. Francisco, like this, yes. The issue here is that we have a space in here, and a space is not a valid character in a URL. It must be escaped. So remember, we want to redirect to /search, and then we want to have these two parameters here. So a space like this URL that you see right here wouldn't be valid. This one would be valid. And in order to work around this issue, all we need to do is we need to URL encode our term and our location. And this is pretty straightforward, because all we have to do is we just need to call a function. So we can just say const URL encoded term equals encode URI. And this function will make sure that the term is properly encoded, that there are no spaces, no special characters in there, and yeah, it will just make sure that we don't have any problems. And we also need to do this for the location as well. And then, now that we have our two parameters, we say, okay, please go to /search, and we want to add the following query parameters. And the easiest way to do this is we have them in two variables over here. So let's just use string interpolation. We'll say find descending equals, and this is the URL encoded term. And because now we will specify the location, find location equals, and then URL encoded location. And if you're wondering about this weird naming about these parameters, this is the exact same way that Yelp uses. So if you go to the original Yelp site and you kick off a search, like they also use these two query parameters. And that's why I said, okay, let's just do it in the same way like we have it in the original application. Cool, and now everything we need to do, or everything that's left to do, is just to specify this search prop. So we can just pass down our function here. And that should be it. So let's go to our browser and try it out. If we go to burgers and then let's say Berlin, bam, we get redirected. Nice. And you see, we get redirected to search, and we have our two query parameters. Now if we go back and we enter burgers and then San Francisco, then you see that it replaced, like this encode URI function, it replaced the space with %20. So that's also good. And yeah, apart from that, is there anything else to do? Yeah, one little thing. Over here, if we click our logo, we don't get redirected to the home site or to the landing page. We should definitely do that, because it's just common. You click the logo, you get redirected to the main site. And by the way, I think this error here is because I have some extension installed. So I guess if you don't have this extension installed, then you shouldn't see this error. Okay. So let's go to our code, and let's go to our, I think it was navbar component, right? This red thing at the top. And all we need to do is we need to wrap our image inside a link component, and then we say redirect to /. We wrap it in here, and of course we need to import it. So we will say import link from React router DOM. It's also important, like I always try to import from React router directly, but you need to import from React router DOM. Nice, so let's try it out. We get redirected, okay. And then if we click on the logo itself, bam, we go to the main page again. And again, this little hint here, somehow this font awesome CDN is going crazy at the moment. So it takes super long to load. Usually that doesn't happen. Yeah, let's see. So it should be resolved over time. Cool. So that's pretty much it for this video. Let's commit our changes so that we can continue with some other functionality in the next lessons. So let's say git status, git add dash a, git commit dash m. Okay, what did we do? Search bar, redirect in search bar. When redirect from landing page. Okay, cool. And then we push it. Nice. So thank you very much for watching. Please make sure to give the video a thumbs up, and please also don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so.